What up, baby? I'm Kitty here with Atola Visuals, and today we are here in Redwood City doing a real estate shoot. So I'm gonna take you behind the scenes on what's going down. Let's go.
Atola Visuals, number one. Number one.
Woo! Yeah!
They're coming down. Hey man, are you sore?
Nah, I'm a dinosaur.
Okay, stop fucking. Let's go. My name is Kitty. Welcome back to the Atola YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. If you are new, please subscribe. And if you've been here for a while, thank you for the support. As always, let's dive into this client shoot behind the scenes. I was filming a real estate video in NorCal, and it was interesting because I was really into like interior design at the time that this client found me, and I was looking up a lot of houses and going to open houses, and I'm like, should I be a real estate agent? And just all these thoughts in my head, and I'm like, it'd be really cool if I had a real estate agent. And then boom, he just like slid into my DMs and was like, oh, I really love your work. Can you do some videos for me? Shoot some YouTubes and TikToks? And I was like, hell yeah. What? The universe works in mysterious ways. God works in mysterious ways. But that is how I landed this client, which is really cool. Sometimes you just want to shoot different things. You get bored of shooting certain things and you don't want to be pigeonholed into something. Because in the video realm, there's so many cool, interesting subjects you could film. And as I was growing up, backstory, I wanted to be an architect, and I told everyone I was going to build the tallest building in the world and blah, 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 blah. So it's pretty interesting how now my two interests have been intertwined. Well, one, the owners were home, which makes it a little difficult because, you know, we got to work around like where they're at in the location. And they also had a baby that had a routine. So we had to be really quiet when the baby was sleeping. But I understand, like, it's their house. They don't need to leave just because they're there. If I had people filming my house, I'd probably be there too, just to make sure they don't break anything. The light was also dropping really fast because this house was in the trees, it was on the hill. I don't remember what month it was, but I think the sun was setting like quite early. It wasn't during summertime yet. So we had to like move really fast. So there's a lot of different rooms to cover. And of course, my perfectionist ass needs to light everything and make sure all the shots look good together. We were also transitioning the rooms into one another. So the last shot had to go well with the next setup. And then we also had to shoot some TikToks too. So it was a lot of filming to go down in one day too. You know, we realized we should have booked 2 days. That was our bad. We were very like, we're gonna get everything done. But you know, when you're filming all this and dealing with people and lighting in different situations like that, and it was also like our first time all filming together. So yeah, we ended up making it 2-day shoot. And I felt really bad because I had asked the makeup person, you know, like, can you come back tomorrow? I had to ask my shooter, TJ, like, do you have time tomorrow? Even though no one had this plan in their schedule beforehand. It was just kind of like a last minute thing. But thankfully, everyone had the schedule open the next day, so we did finish up the shoot really well. The parking situation was a little bit difficult. One of our crew members actually parked, I guess, in someone's driveway, and she was coming over and threatening to tow it, and it was just like a whole situation that kind of stressed her out and stressed everyone else, kind of, you know, hurt the vibes a little bit, but thankfully she didn't tow her. So the client actually admired one of these real estate agents on YouTube. He's done a bunch of videos, so we really like that style, that pacing, those camera movements, you know, that type of vibe. So I try to capture that as best as possible. And then he also follows this really, really good gimbal guy on Instagram who does a lot of real estate shoots as well. So I took all that inspo and made it our own for this treehouse video. The gear setup, we had a Sony a7 IV and my FX3 all on gimbals. We had Kai on a drone, so he's a FPV drone operator. I don't know how to do that shit, so thankfully he was there with his expertise doing all the cool moves. The lenses, I had my 10 to 16 millimeter and also a 24 to 70 for detail shots. And I also used the Sony imaging app when TJ was shooting and I was in another room, for instance, just to see like what the framing was or what the camera movement was, and then we could communicate that way, which was really, really helpful. And then with the imaging app, I could also hit record for him because his hands were on the gimbal, so instead of like reaching up or connecting the camera into the gimbal, I was just pushing record and stop for him. One thing to note, if you connect the Sony app into the Sony cameras, it does drain all the batteries faster, obviously, because it's outputting Bluetooth or whatever it is. And then there's also a latency issue. There's probably like 2 or 3 second delay, but when you're doing real estate videos, it's not that big of a deal. Lighting, oh yes, lighting. Because there's a tree house and there's a ton of trees, the sun wasn't coming in every window. There was also a top floor, a second floor. The second floor was, the lighting was like really, really dim and dark. I brought Aputure 300D. TJ brought some lights as well. And for the lighting situation, because it's so wide, I had to get the lights hiding in like little corners or right behind us. And then most of the time, I just had it bouncing off the ceiling so it could light everything evenly and indirect. Like I said, we booked one day, but had to call it because there was still too much A-roll to get through. He was filming his intro and the sunlight was already like sunset. So at that time, the lights were reflecting on all these nice big windows and it was just looking terrible. So I felt so bad, but I just had to call and be like, you think it's best if we just do this tomorrow? And I felt like everyone was tired and a little bit stressed out from the day. So it actually worked out a lot better because the next day everyone was refreshed. We already knew how to work together, how the timing worked. And then we also got the A-roll with the windows and daylight where it actually looked really, really nice. So that would have been really bad if we only had one day and I had to use that footage because it was just like, it just looked dark outside. And we even had a fog machine that we brought in the kitchen just to give it like a little, that glowy ambiance. Unfortunately, the fire alarm went off. That was another problem. And I felt so bad because the baby was sleeping. What I liked the most? Well, luckily, everyone was available the next day. Thank you, heavens. We finished up strong, and then we also got to leave lots of our lighting there overnight, which was super helpful. So we had a laundry room where we just stored all our stuff there. So the next day was a lot easier to prep and set up. We had a lot of fun coming up with the transitions, like on the spot. So TJ was super helpful and creative. He'd be like, oh yeah, we're gonna bring the gimbal and push it into the pillow. And then the next shot is gonna be like through the curtains, or we would make these like really cool transitions from like going left to right, and Bernie would like swipe it or hit it or do something fun and interesting, because sometimes when you're just showing a space, it gets a little bit boring. So having those like little creative elements between the rooms and transitioning and just having fun overall just makes it, I don't know, different, unique, and really exciting to even be there and work too. The house itself was really beautiful, so it wasn't really hard to like make it look nice. It had like wooden ceilings, there was all these cool details and artwork, there was books on the shelves, this really cool art piece on the wall. The kitchen was beautiful, so I was spending a lot of time getting the hardware and cabinets, because lately I've personally just been into woodworking lately, so that's the type of stuff that just like tickles my fancy. But in general, I think the house was really nice, and it was really fun to shoot something different for once. That's not, products, camera gear, even though I love doing that stuff. Just getting out and trying a different sort of content is always fun and exciting and challenges you, of course, and you learn so much. And lately I've been shooting a lot of handheld and tripod shots, so just getting my hands on a gimbal again. Like back in the day, I know some of you found me based on my gimbal videos. So it was fun just getting a gimbal in my hands again and realizing like, damn, these things are heavy. Like, how did I shoot on a gimbal so many times before? And now I'm just like, ow, my shoulders hurt, my abs hurt. I need to work out. But yeah, it was nice to have TJ there. I felt bad at times. I'm like, are your arms okay? Are your arms okay? But he was such a good sport. He'd be like, I'm good to go. But yes, the crew overall was amazing, and I feel like that's what makes any video project fun. If you have a really good crew, if they're creative, if they're, down with problem solving and are very open to like, getting the project done, because we all have this one vision of just making this video the best video we can make it. The things that I learned from the shoot, know to book extra days. It's always kind of better if you finish ahead of schedule rather than, past the deadline. But, with video shoots, everyone needs stuff really fast as possible, and you try to get a billion shot list done in like an hour, but, that doesn't always happen. But just the more videos you produce, the more you know how much time you need. Getting stuff fast doesn't always make it better though, so, you have to have that nice medium between the quickness and the quality, of course. the deliverables at the end of the day were a YouTube video showing the whole space and then 3 TikToks. It was really smart of me also to split up the B-roll with the A-roll, because while we were setting up the next room or doing the B-roll shots, our talent was practicing his lines, getting like retouched on his makeup and hair. So just scheduling overall worked out for that. So if you're doing real estate or working with talent, just get the A-roll done first. That's what I would recommend, just because it is the most important part of the video. And if you could fit the A-roll with the B-roll all at the same time, that works too. And then you can move on to the next room and just know like that room's finally done. TJ would go and do the B-roll, and he would have like the wide lens and get like the main shots and probably the transition. And I would have my other gimbal with the A7 IV and get like the detail-y shots, because I love close-ups. That's just my thing. I love detail shots. So I really wanted to focus on those. And then we just kind of moved with each other. And if someone was in the shot, we just get out and let the other person take over. But in that case, we actually like got it done a lot faster that way. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to the crew. Thank you for my client for having me there. It was a lot of fun. And I think the video turned out well. But yeah, thank you for joining me on my behind the scenes client shoot. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. You do, fam. And I will see you soon. Done. Bye.